Hi everyone, welcome back to Flow Yoga with Bonnie. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about how to tone your tummy and how to just improve overall flexibility and become more limber. So let's go ahead and get started. So you always want to make sure that you drink a nice big glass of water. So, well, you don't want it to be too big. So you want to drink about 8 ounces of water first thing in the morning when you get up. Now you're going to wait 15 minutes. Then we'll get started with our yoga practice. So normally we start out our practice lying down on our back, taking a few minutes to just focus on bringing attention to our breath and relaxing our bodies and our mind. If you would like to do that, go ahead and just pause this video and take about maybe 5 minutes for yourself. Go ahead and start working on your breathing, focusing on inhaling into your belly and exhaling. And then once you're ready, go ahead and press play and we'll go ahead and get started. I don't want to include that 5 minutes in my video just in case you don't want to do that because it's completely optional, not necessary. So we'll go ahead and get started. We are going to get started lying down on our backs. So you can come down to your mat, lay down on your back. But we're gonna go ahead and just pull our knees up into our chest, rock from side to side. If you've taken yoga classes with me before, this should be pretty familiar. You'll go ahead and find stillness. Open your arms up into a T, and then let your knees fall to the left side. So while you're in this position, your arms are going to be out in a T. Your gaze is going to be over towards your right fingertips. I want you to just focus on relaxation. Take a nice deep breath. And now engage your core, pulling your knees back into center. And then as you exhale, release your knees over to the right side. Turn your gaze to your left fingertips. Again, inhale and exhale. Engage your core, and then pull your knees back to center. We're gonna go ahead, grab onto your knees, pull them in really close to your chest. You're gonna let them open up wide. So I'm gonna turn so you can see what I'm doing. Let your knees open up wide, reach your arms on the inside, grab onto your feet, and then pull your feet up towards the sky. So you really wanna pull your feet up. It's as if you're standing on the ceiling. Then you can rock from side to side here if you'd like. And then we'll go ahead, find stillness, bring your knees back together, and then just rock forward and back just a little bit. We'll go ahead and find stillness, and then you can roll over onto your side. Use your hands to push yourself up to our cross-leg seated position. So we're gonna sit up nice and tall. You wanna make sure that your back is nice and straight. Use your core to pull your belly in nice and tight. pull your head up through the crown of your head. So there's this energy coming in through the ground, going up your spine and out through the crown of your head. Hold here just for a few rounds of breath. So doing this flow before eating anything will really just help to increase your metabolism, which is going to help to decrease your belly or your tummy. All right, we'll go ahead. Inhale, arms up, and then exhale down. One more time. Inhale, arms up, exhale down. Inhale, arms up. And this time what I want you to do is I want you to, as you exhale, twist open to the right side. You're gonna plant your left hand into your right knee, your right hand behind. There's a very gentle twist here, but your core is nice and engaged. These twists also help to increase our metabolism. If you'd like, you can bring your gaze towards the back of the room or behind you. And we'll go ahead and release, coming back to center. We're gonna inhale, arms up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, and then inhale up, exhale, twisting open to the left side. Actually, so on the video, this might be the right side, but it doesn't necessarily matter as long as you're doing both sides. You're gonna plant, this time, your right hand into your left knee, left hand behind, keeping your core nice and tight. So notice how I'm not sinking back like this, I'm nice and tall. And again, maybe looking towards the back of the room. If you have like a shoulder injury or vertebra injury, any sort of injury to your back, just take these twists at your own pace, making sure if anything doesn't feel right, if you feel any pinches or kinks, just go relax your spine back to a neutral position. If you keep your core nice and tight, that should protect your spine. We'll go ahead and release, coming back to center. We're gonna go ahead and do some, so we're gonna inhale, open your chest up, and then exhale down. I'm gonna go to the side so you can see this. So you're inhaling up, exhaling back. Inhale up, exhale back. Again, inhale up, exhale back the whole time, really working on your core. So you squeeze as you push back. Inhale up, relax. Exhale, squeeze and push your back. One more time. Inhale up, exhale back. We're going to come back to a neutral position. We're going to move to our hands and knees into our tabletop. So again, you can swing your knees out to the side if you need to, or you can just roll forward. So for our tabletop, you really want to make sure that your knees are underneath your hips and that your shoulders, so your wrists are going to be underneath your shoulders. So you don't want to be here. You want to make sure that your wrists are underneath your shoulders. And also, you don't want to lock your elbows. So if you see how I'm locking my elbows here, you want to make sure that you keep a nice bend in your elbows. If you have a hyperextended joints, it might be hard, and something you have to focus on is not locking your elbows. We'll go ahead and go into some cat-cows. So for cow, drop your belly down, shift your gaze up towards the sky, take a nice big inhale in. And then as you exhale, really squeeze your core. And inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze your core. So you can actually do this whole motion just squeezing your core. So you should not have to engage your back at all. You just move your core. Release, and then engage. Go ahead and release and engage. Go ahead and release, inhale and exhale. Engage. All right, we'll go ahead and come back to a nice flat back. So you're gonna sway your hips from side to side, and then you can really start to arch your body into this if you would like. Just going from side to side. Should feel like a nice side stretch. And then we'll go ahead and find stillness. You're gonna inhale. We're gonna start with our left leg. Inhale your left leg out behind you. And then if you would like, you can inhale your right arm out. Really engage your core. Make sure that there's not an arch in your back. You wanna keep your core nice and tight. Engaging that core should also prevent you from really lifting your leg up like this. You want to keep it in a nice straight line with your back down to your foot. And go ahead and release. We'll go ahead and just sway from side to side here. If your wrists are starting to hurt, you can always open your knees up wide, sit back into a child's pose. Give your wrists a little break here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and inhale, come forward. Bring your knees back underneath your hips, bring your wrists back underneath your shoulders. Take your right leg, extend it out behind you. Same thing as before, engage your core, keep that back nice and straight. And then inhale, left arm out. We'll go ahead, just hold this for a few rounds of breath. I just realized I locked up my elbow, so check to make sure your elbow is not locked up. And go ahead and release back down to the mat. So curl your toes under, push yourself back onto your heels. We're just holding here for a few rounds of breath to warm up our feet, stretch out those arches. You're gonna go ahead, come forward. And so what I want you to do is you're going to step your left foot up towards your hands. So I'm gonna show you from the front. You go from here. So notice my left leg, I'm just stepping it forward to between my palms. All right, once you're here, so step your foot forward. Once you're here, you're just gonna focus on pushing your hips down towards the mat. My wrists are starting to get a little bit sore, so you can always go up onto your, like make fists, and go up onto your fists. Should feel like a really good hip opening stretch here. So again, push your hips down towards the floor. All right, so what we're gonna do next is called lizard. Now I want you to look up here, or look at the video, and just notice what I'm doing with my foot and my knee. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna take my hand, place both hands on the inside of my leg. And then I'm gonna take my foot and I'm gonna open it up. See this, how I'm taking my knee and I'm opening it up and going, I'm rolling onto the outside of my foot. So let me again turn to the side. Both hands on the inside. You're gonna roll that knee out. gonna see if I can turn to this side so you can see too. So roll this knee out, roll onto the outside of your foot, and then maybe relax down onto your elbows. So this whole time you should have your core engaged. Don't forget about it. Don't let it hang loose. Keep it nice and engaged. All right, we'll go ahead and start to push yourself back up to your hands. Go back onto your flat foot, pull this knee back in, and then you're gonna shift your hips back, straightening out this left leg. All right, so it's a half split. One hand on each side of my leg. We're just gonna hold it here. Should start to stretch out the hamstring. All right, go ahead and bend that knee, shift your weight forward, and then place your both hands on the inside again. Just kind of walk this leg back and around, and we're gonna do the whole thing on the other side. So first thing first, go back to that tabletop. Then you're gonna take your right foot, step it forward between your palms, and the first step here is just to take your hips, push them down towards the mat. Push your hips down, opening up our hip flexors. All right, now we'll go ahead and go into our lizard. So remember, you roll this knee out. So first place both hands on the inside of your leg, then roll your knee out and roll onto the outside of your foot. So again, we're taking our knee, roll it out, roll onto the outside of your foot. So it's like, imagine a lizard, which is why they call it the lizard pose, because we very much look like a lizard when we are doing this pose. Once you're here, go ahead and just kind of relax down onto your elbows if you would like. And of course, take this at your own pace. Some days it might be a little bit harder to get down here. That's totally normal. Sometimes one side's going to be a little bit more loose than the other, and that's totally normal as well. This hip is very tight for me, my right hip. All right, we'll go ahead and start to come out of it, pushing back up to your hands. So you're going to take one hand, place it on the other side of your leg. So now you've got one hand on each side. Shift your weight back, straighten out this right leg. Ooh, this hamstring is tight too. Just breathe into it if it's tight. Just inhale and consciously send the oxygen to that tight muscle, allowing your body to release, giving your body permission to release that muscle. Go ahead and bend this right leg and then place both hands on the inside again. Walk this foot back and around. We're gonna go ahead and push up into a downward facing dog now. Curl your toes under, push your hips up towards the sky. Maybe walk out the dog. So walking the dog looks like this. You're just alternating your knees. It's kind of like imagine walking upstairs or maybe climbing a ladder. And then of course you can either hold it here for a few rounds of breath, or you can go ahead and just walk your feet to your hands. We'll release into the forward fold. Sorry, excuse me. And then swing from side to side. Go ahead and find stillness. Release your hands down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. So notice how I'm inhaling and coming up to a flat back. So one of the things you want to do is you want to check to make sure that your back's not arched like this. You don't want this, and you also don't want it to be pushed too far, like this, I guess, would be the best I can do. You want it to be nice and flat. So check yourself in a mirror if you can. Make sure you've got that nice flat back. We'll go ahead and release. Inhale, bend your knees just a little bit. Come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. You can go ahead, take a few minutes here. Let the blood return to your heart. And then once you feel like the blood is returned to your heart, go ahead and open your eyes. Arms are gonna come down by your sides. We're gonna take a nice big inhale, arms up, and exhale, open. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, down. We'll go ahead and inhale, both arms up. Ooh, I'm gonna have to redo my camera here, sorry. Okay, so you're going to inhale your arms up. Your left hand, I guess in the video for you, it's probably gonna be your right hand. So just take one hand, grab onto the other wrist, and then pull yourself over to the side, just very gently. Engage your core here, make sure your core is nice and tight. If this is not comfortable for your shoulder, drop one arm down to your side and just arch over. And you can have both arms down. We're just engaging that side body, our obliques. Pull yourself back to center. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Start by inhaling your arms up, grabbing on, use one hand to grab onto the other wrist, the opposite wrist from the first time. I'm sure after I do a few more of these videos, I'll finally get used to the rights and lefts of how it comes out in the video. Again, you can drop your hand down to your thigh, or even have both hands down to your thighs. And pulling yourself back up to center. So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna go through some sun salutations. Sun salutations are a really, really good thing to do first thing in the morning. And that's, it helps get your metabolism going. So what we're gonna do is you're going to come to the top of your mat. You're gonna inhale, arms up. You're gonna exhale, going through that flat back. So notice how I go through this flat back before releasing down into the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time plant your hands down into the mat. Step your feet back into our downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, walk your feet back up to your hands. Exhale, release into the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So I'm gonna do that with you one more time. We'll go ahead and inhale, arms up. Exhale, going through that flat back. Release into the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands down into the mat. Step back into our downward facing dog. And then go ahead, walk your feet to your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So you can actually, if you would like, pause the video here and do that again, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 more times on your own if you would like, or you can go ahead and just progress with me to the next section of our flow. So what we're gonna do from here is we're gonna go ahead and inhale, arms up. We're gonna exhale, forward fold, going through the flat back again, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands down into the mat. Now, now you're gonna step back into our downward facing dog. But this time, you can either inhale your leg up, or you can just move your leg to this position. So we're going into pigeon. So a couple of options here. You can inhale your leg up, pull your leg in, and go into our pigeon here, like this. Or you can just, from our downward facing dog, move your leg up to pigeon. It's entirely up to you, whichever one is more comfortable for you. So once you're here in pigeon, I want you to hold it upright just for a few rounds of breath. It's kind of hard to see because I'm wearing gray pants and my mat is gray. I think it's a bit hard to see on the yoga or in the video. So once you've held it here for a few rounds of breath, what you're gonna do is you're gonna release down onto your elbows, or you can lay flat on your leg. So I'm gonna turn towards the camera. Just take a minute, look at the position of this leg that I'm laying on top of. Notice how it's not here like this. What you wanna do is you wanna make sure that you're pulling this ankle up or out. So you're trying to get a right angle with this right leg, with your knee and well, I guess it's not really a right angle because your leg is definitely at a slant here. But you understand, I'm sure you can see in the video what I'm trying to get at here. We'll go ahead and start to come out of it, push yourself up. So a couple of options here. You can roll over onto your side and come out of it, or you can just push yourself back to downward facing dog. So completely up to you. And again, however you want to get to the pigeon, you can lift your leg up high, pull your leg in, or just step your leg forward. Same thing, you don't want to sit on your foot. You really want to try to pull that ankle out in front of you so that you're not sitting on your foot. Hold it upright for a few rounds of breath here. I am hungry. About now, your digestion should be really going, so you should be starting to get hungry, which is good. After holding it upright for a little bit, you can release yourself down to your elbows or lay down. My stomach just growled. I really hope that is not audible on the recording. All right, we'll go ahead and start to push out of the pigeon. Again, roll over onto your side or push yourself back to downward facing dog. It's gonna be our last downward facing dog of the flow. So really try to get the maximum benefit out of it. Push your hips up towards the sky. Hamstrings should be feeling nice and loose. And then release yourself down to your elbows, release yourself down to your knees. Maybe sway from side to side. And you can cross your ankles and sit back into our cross-legged seated position. Scoot yourself forward on your mat. You're gonna go ahead and just bring the soles of your feet together. Take a forward fold here. Go ahead and inhale, come up. Extend both of your legs out in front of you. And then forward fold. Go ahead and inhale, coming back up. Pull your knees into your chest. Place your hands down on the mat. And then gently just roll yourself down to your back. So we start here on our back and we end right here on our back. Before we end our flow though, we are going to do a couple of bridges. So what you want to do is you want to step your feet out just a little bit. Make sure that they are close to, so you're stepping them out wide, but they are still close to your sit bones or your bum. Then you're going to curl your tailbone under. So notice this motion. I'm curling my tailbone under. I engage my glutes, engage my quads and my hamstrings, and then push my hips up off the mat. Hold it here just for a few rounds of breath. And release. And sway your knees from side to side. And go ahead and find stillness. We're gonna do that one more time. Curl your tailbone under, push your hips up towards the sky. Go ahead and take the next couple of minutes to do any remaining stretches that you feel like your body needs. I always like to do figure four. So this is what the figure four looks like. You just cross one foot over onto your knee. And then you can wrap one hand is gonna go between your legs, the other one's gonna go around the outside, pulling the whole figure four close to your chest. Something I really like to do is to take my right foot and then just let that right foot, or whatever foot is on your knee, you're gonna take that and let it fall over to the side. So it looks like this. So for me, it's my right foot, and my right foot falls to the floor. Open my arms up into a T, turn my gaze to the opposite fingertips. And then of course, make sure you do both sides. I really hope you guys can't hear my stomach growling. I'm so hungry. Hold the figure four for a few rounds of breath, and then I'm gonna take my left foot and let my left foot fall over to the left side. Open my arms up into a T, shift my gaze to the opposite fingertips. And say left foot to the left side. Left foot is going to the right side. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and release. Pull your knees back into center. So wherever you are, whatever stretch you're doing, pull your knees back into center. Wrap your arms around, sway from side to side. I invite you now to go into a Shavasana. If you would like to do Shavasana, what you're going to do is you're going to extend your legs out down onto the mat. Your arms are going to go down to your sides. Close your eyes and just take the next couple of minutes to again focus on your breathing. You're welcome to pause the video here. Take as long of a Shavasana as you would like. I do recommend keeping it to no longer than about 2 or 3 minutes. Usually when you're doing Shavasana in the morning, you keep it shorter. In the evening, you can go up to like 5 minutes if you're doing Shavasana in the evening. So you're welcome to pause the video now. If you would like to go ahead and continue with the video, what we're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and just reach your arms up over your head, take a nice full body stretch, point your toes, flex your feet, and then you can roll over onto one side, resting your head on your arm. Then use your hands to push yourself up. We're gonna go back to our cross-leg seated position. And there we go. So again, this yoga flow is specifically designed to help to increase your metabolism, which is going to help to decrease your tummy and get your digestion working. As you can tell, I'm so hungry. So I'm gonna go eat some breakfast now. If you like this video, just make sure to give me a good thumbs up, or like, share with your friends. And thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.